good afternoon. Thank you very much, Sarah. It's a real pleasure to be with you here in this webinar. I'm very pleased to see 90 people connected, especially teachers. I'm overwhelmed, seriously. I'm excited to be with you and to be able to share some things, little things that I have learned through experience, but through studies as well. So I want to give you the best. We're going to do a warm-up activity. This is the best way to start. I begin all the activities that I do, workshops and seminars and talks with teachers and with students with an activity like this. So I'm going to ask you a question and I'm going to give you 30 seconds so you may answer it in the chat. I'll be very glad to read from you, please. So first, how do you engage yourself? We're talking about you guys, about you. How do you engage yourself in an activity? We have an answer by Nancy Paula Riascos. I enjoy watching videos to get some background before the activity. Awesome. That's a very good thing to do before. I mean, when you're going to, and you know the topic you're going to see or study about, that's an activity that I do for myself. Watch a video or read something before a little bit short. A short reading will be awesome. Very good. Thank you, Nancy. Paola Riascos. We have Roman Montaño. My own motivation. Yes, we need own motivation. Yes, intrinsic motivation is called in more tech words. So that's true. Own motivation is very good and is very useful, but there's a question, do we have always own motivation for everything? I'm going to tell you a thing. For mathematics, I didn't like numbers, and numbers didn't like me. And that's until now. So it's very hard for me. I cannot motivate myself by in that moment with math problems or issue like very strategic number thing. But on the other hand, I like physics. So that motivates me a little bit more. Awesome. Very good. Great. Let's go for the next question. What activity or attitude keeps you on track? Answer that one, please, first, 30 seconds. And now you have ahead the third and last question in this moment. So please answer the questions so I can see your answers in that case. Alma Luz Castillo. She says, interesting topics related to real life and situations that happen to us. Awesome answer, and we're going to discuss that a little bit earlier. We're going to discuss that later. Sorry, I apologize. The attitude that keeps me on track is taking notes from Juliana Cortez. Awesome. Very good. Nelson Rafael. He says positive common sense. And Jenny Bonilla says listening and watching how of doing something. Very good. Okay, so here we're going to talk about learning styles. We already discussed, and I'm going to attack the visual people. We're going to start from the visual. So how do we learn? Basically by images, colors, the same. I use different colors to remember things. It helps me tons, a lot, but very much. Oral. This is one of the newest, to be honest with you. Sound and music. That's another thing that I discovered through time by myself. I focus more when I'm listening to music. And I work a little bit faster, depends on the type of music. So it helps me a lot. Verbal, speech, words, and writing. Yes, many people were answering to me like this. Like Nancy Paula Riascos, the last one I have here on screen. Physical, total visual response, somebody answer me, TPR. Solitary, in my opinion, my humble opinion, this is the most difficult one. Self-study, yes. In Colombian culture, we're not very into this. We, Colombian people, we like to be guided. So that's a more cultural thing. The other one that we have is social, group learning. This is what we're going to talk about. So it's going to help you. Alma, when you write, you use colors. Me too, I try. Even though I'm going to tell you a secret, my handwriting is terrible. It's the people who know me know what I'm talking about. It's very ugly. But I try to use different colors. Very good. And last one is logical by the reason. Yes? Very human. We like to know the reason, especially adults. This is more for grown-ups. Kids are different. Kids don't apply this one 100% as we do, as grown-ups. We're going to begin with listen, clap. This is a typical, this is the basic one that actually, I want to share this with you from a cool writer that's called Tisa Woodward. I took from this book. It's very good. I hope you can see it. Give me 1 second. I want to see, I don't know. I hope I can see it. You can see it. I'm going to show you at the end the books I use, but at this one I use it a lot. It's called Thinking in the EFL Class by Tisa Woodward. So she said clap, listen, and clap, but I complement a little bit. Actually, other people call it SSLANT. Weird, huh? What a strange word. But it has a meaning. So, smile is very important for you, for the student that are watching you, all those eyes on top of you, to see you smile, that you love what you're doing, that you like the class, that you like the student, that you like the kids. Of course, sometimes we are not in the mood of smiling, but try to smile when you get into the classroom. That's the best way. They're going to be happy to see you. Sit up. Ask them to sit up straight. Okay? That's going to start the brain to work, so the brain is going to be aware. Third, listen. Not hearing. We have to change that, because in Colombian Spanish, we use all the time hear, but we don't use too much listen. Listen is very important. Ask. So you ask, smile, sit up, you give the instructions, you say, listen, open your books on page 240. Ask, do you have any questions? Which book we are going to use? Student's book, workbook, math, science? Not ask them to nod if they have understood the instructions. So they have to nod. Don't tell them to talk, just nod. And you're going to track with your own eyes if it's understood the instruction you gave. If you see some faces, like the one I'm doing at this moment, what is he talking about, you're going to know the instruction hasn't been clear. I bet if you repeat this routine several times, in a short term, the students will learn to listen and to follow instructions. Guys, I want to highlight this. We know in schools and even in universities, there is too much noise all the time. But silence is critical to reduce misunderstanding or lack of comprehension of the information you want to transfer. Be careful with that. Good evening, Lina Quito. Hi. Simply stimulate. We learn, or we talk about learning styles. They're very important. We need external things to be stimulated. Yes, we can do it intrinsic, but we need a lot of extrinsic, especially the little ones. So first of all, tell students this is a fluency exercise. They'll be relaxed. Tell them, no, it's not going to be graded, or we're not going to do a pop quiz, etc. No, just relax. Flash the stimulus to the student. We're going to do an example. Make them discuss privately before you make them express in public. In plenary, fit in any useful expressions or vocabulary related to what they saw or listened to. They're going to remember this word. When this fit is going to be remembered, I bet. So an exercise, typical. We have this book. We're going to read kids. We're going to read Mr. Football. Before you begin reading, do the class exercise. Write some questions on the whiteboard. Yes? Or through a screen. What do you think the story is about? Yes? Why the blonde player has like an upset face? Who do you think is the main character? Who is the antagonist? Who do you think is the red or the blue team? Which one is going to be the champion? Yes, do these questions, yes? Like a machine gun, shoot them, in the good sense, of course, shoot them with a lot of questions about this, so they can talk and they're going to interact and they're going to find it more interesting and they want to read because they want to find the answers. I'm going to shoot you a question. Just answer to me as fast as possible, please. First question. Why do you think the wolf wants to eat Red Riding Hood? Come on, answers, please. I want to share it. Come on, answer. Come on, shoot me with answers. Angela Schauster, because he's angry and she is an easy prey. Wow. Jennifer Bautista, because he's hungry. The same as Paula Gomez. Griselda Monroy, because he was anxious. Okay, good. Something else. Juliana Cortez. Juliana, I'm sorry because he hasn't had anything to eat in 2 weeks. Awesome. He loves red color. Yes, me too. But I don't need people, little kids. The wolf is hungry. By Diego Redondo. Jamie Leon, because he's hungry and he feels, okay, I couldn't read. Oh my God. Awesome. You're writing too much. Natalia Paez, because he likes red color. Lina Ramirez. I couldn't read. Sorry, Lina. Luisa Vargas, because he's in quarantine and he has not anything to eat. Awesome. Very good question. What is your opinion on Red Riding Hood's choice to walk through the path the wolf suggested? Why do you think she took that path and not Granny's path? Edwin Duque, because we have a previous knowledge about the story. And Luna El Mar, she says she's so naive. Paula Gomez, she was naive, she was curious. I love it. Alma Luz Castillo, she was curious. Griselda Monroy, because she was alone and tired. Very good. I applied this exercise, even though this is a story for little kids, and I applied to 11th graders in one of the schools I worked. And we did, it was so big, to be honest, I didn't expect this small topic for children to become so big. Even we created a trial. Guess who was on trial? The big bad wolf. And at the end, I quoted one of my students, say, you know what? He gave me good, the attorney for the wolf. His advocate, he says, first, is the wolf's nature. They need to eat. And what do they eat? They don't eat flowers, they don't eat cucumbers, they don't eat tomatoes, they eat flesh. So the little kid was there. Incorrect time. Second, when it was written this story, the wolf was one of the demons or Satan's animals. And in those times, literature was very united with religion. So they accomplished that. You see, they put it together. And at the end, the wolf wasn't sent to jail. He was free. Why? Because he didn't do something out of his personality. On the other hand, who was the bad? Was Red Riding Hood, because she didn't follow instructions. And as maybe you remember, that was the big goal of the story. Little kids, follow what your grown-ups tell you to do. Follow instructions. Very good. Good. Lina Ramirez says something very interesting. She trusted someone. She didn't judge it. Very good. Naive, to become naive, okay?
Good. Collaborative mind map. Cooperation and teamwork. In my personal opinion, very personal, I think this is what we're lacking in Colombia. We don't know how to work in team. We are not team workers. So what do? I give you this part, you do this part, you do this part, and at the end we assemble. Maybe many of the times the result has been good. But if you analyze the process hasn't been the proper, good process. So what happens when you work with the kids and you teach them to do this? You teach them to plan, collaborate, to have the information very clear, innovate different things, creativity very connected to innovation, and productivity. This is going to help the kids to find their own abilities. Maybe we don't know if a kid is creative one. Maybe we don't know if the kid is trying to propose something innovative. Here is a little bit with better examples. What do students learn when they engage in collaborative projects? Critical thinking. Why? Because they're going to question themselves and they're going to question their team. Okay, when they're going to take any response, or they're going to work or pass to the other step. Adaptability, they're going to start adapting. Yeah, we are going to work here in the school, but we don't have a table because our group is big and we need a bigger table to work. We're going to work on the floor. So they're going to adapt, and their thinking is going to be interactive. Perseverance, in the same scenario, okay, but I'm uncomfortable, I'm getting tired, but they're going to continue because if they love it, they're going to continue. Inquiry, they're going to ask more questions among themselves and to the teacher. Project management, they're going to organize their times, the schedule. Passion for learning, they're going to ask for more. Yes, they're going to, come on, I want more, I want to understand better. Empathy among themselves. Empowerment to shy children or shy students. Yes, you can do it with Fernando, you can do the numbers thing. Maker mindset. So we have a goal, he can imagine the goal. The communication fluency is going to get better, and the systems of thinking, they're going to interact better. Someone at the beginning wrote about total physical response. This is very good, especially for little kids, but it doesn't mean the big ones cannot have this type of class. Of course, the picture that we have is for the little ones, but for high school students, you can use this one, or for middle school. Why not? Why so good? Because it's going to be teacher-centered. We need the classes sometimes to be teacher-centered. All eyes on the teacher helps a lot. Move, you have to move. It will be very different, the voice level to go up and down, go one up and down. It will be better, it will be very different if you're my students in this case and I start talking like this and I don't move. Yes, you're right, total physical response or TPR. Teacher said, no, you're going to get bored. You're going to get sleepy. Okay, now, engages shy students. There are shy students in all classrooms. In all classrooms, doesn't matter the age. It doesn't matter if high school, university, doesn't matter. They're always shy students. They don't like to talk in public. They feel ashamed. But when they do physical, they're going to get better. And through that response, you're going to understand that they get or they got the idea of what you're trying to communicate. Time management. You can maximize the time available by corresponding actions with reading auditory instruction. That is very good when you're reading in community. Yes? To change voices, I'm the big bad wolf and I'm going to blow your door. Whatever you want, you can mimic it. Yes, you can do it. I do it with my kids at home. So it's a very good exercise. Good. Expanding sentences. This is a lovely activity. Just give them words or just write on the whiteboard. You don't want to use post-its. It's okay. You don't have to do the same. But you can say, the gray baby. period. Maria, what happened to the gray baby? Complete the sentence. Yes, and you're going to make a story. Believe me, if you haven't done it, I invite you to do it. You're going to have amazing stories. You're going to have a fun class, and the students remember this for a long time. Expanding sentence will not only help students improve their writing skills, which is very important, but it will help them to express themselves in a natural way. Like if you're friends, like if you're a peer. Yes, they talk different, or when they're talking to peers or friends, that when they talk to, they're going to feel relaxed. They're going to feel that that nothing is going to be stupid or dumb, or they're going to make fun of him or her, or is going to become a bullying victim. My favorite mistakes. Highlight this one. Why? Mistakes should not be labeled as a bad thing. We learn from mistakes, don't we? I think all humankind will learn from mistakes. Of course, some people don't. And even ourselves, we don't learn from mistakes, and we commit over and over the same mistake. But it's very different. This is a mistake. What happens? An activity, make them write just on the whiteboard publicly, but without they to notice. You're not going to say, this is a mistake by Luis Fernando. He wrote always with double L. No, just write. What's wrong with the sentence? Write it down, correct it. So that thing is going to metacognition process. They're going to start developing that. When they develop metacognition process, they're going to interiorize all the things, all the knowledge. Okay, next. Solo silent reflection, metacognition process in the climax of the class through quick writes. This is like a journal. This activity applies for any subject or any topic. Yes, you don't have to make them to write a whole page. At the end of the class, what do you learn? What do you like the most? Give me 2 sentences. And of course, you can tell them that's your private thing. Yes, ask them for have a small, I don't know, a notebook, a pad, paper pad. Just write something, and that's private. If you want me to read it, you ask me, and you may read it, teacher. Okay, but it's going to write. It's going to improve, the written skills plus self-confidence, because they're going to see they're improving their written skills, their language, everything, all the grammar. So this is a very good example or an exercise, and it can apply for any case. Minimal supervision task. In every class, we have dead time. Example, you're answering a parent's note. You're talking to a kid because he's sad. You are talking to a kid because was hyperactive in class. You're organizing your thing. You're trying to plug in the presentation, the video beam. Dead time. Avoid dead time. But in that time, put them to do different things. Example, quick writes task. Write me, what did you do yesterday? Yes? What did you do on the last vacations? I don't know, you just created. What, Esperanza Gonzalez, what kind tool I can use for okay, I answered that at the end. Pair up discussion. Okay, Luis Fernando and Maria, you're going to talk about yesterday's news. Or if you know 2 kids love soccer, talk about the soccer game in English, of course. Review 2 topics individual or in pairs. This is very good. Sometimes we believe the students cannot explain their peers or their friends, and we are totally incorrect. Sometimes they learn better from the peers because they're talking in the same level, same language, same knowledge, and they transfer a little bit more accurate. Silent reading. Okay, kids, read a little bit from the book, advance the next chapter, and then we read together, and we answer together the question you might have of vocabulary of reading comprehension. Okay? Mix up teaching styles. As we saw in TPR, normally the classes are teacher-centered. It's normal. It's because the education has been like that for ages. but we're changing, and in this moment has changed a lot with the COVID-19. Flipped classroom is a very good tool. How about if the teacher, if you do a part of the class, teacher center, you explain the topic, you give them a video, you stimulate the kids with a video or with a song or whatever, and then you change. Okay, Luis Fernando, explain to us you understood about whatever, about Mr. Football, about the game. It doesn't matter the topic. Give them the control. They're going to feel confident. They're going to feel important, and they can share their ideas. And I bet many of the students are going to understand a little bit better because he's talking or she's talking to their peers. S-L-A-N-T. Who remembers those words stand for? Write to me, please. Then, simply stimulate. 3, nurture curious minds. Critical thinking, come on, critical thinking all the time. Brain comprehension is not just to remember details from the book, it's to go beyond. Critical thinking is a great tool, and I love it personally. Use collaborative mind map. Use movement to get kids focused, TPR. 6, expanding a sentence, very good to writing. My favorite mistakes, metacognition process, and goes with solo silent reflection. Minimal supervision task, give them the control. Thank you, Alma Luz. Point for you. Smile, sit up, listen, ask, not, track with your eyes. Point. And finally, mix up texting styles. Nancy Paola Riascos, point. Angela, point. Okay, you're paying a lot of attention. Very good. Good, awesome. This is the bibliography I used, the books I used for this presentation. Many of the things, what happened to me, and I'm going to share this with you. Many of the things, I applied them when I was a teacher. But, there's a big but. You don't remember them and you don't know technically how you call them or how to apply them better. So these books help me a lot. And actually, this presentation for you guys helped me a lot to remember many things and to become a better teacher. CO, Facebook, you can look for us as Books and Books, and this is the webpage. I really appreciate your time. I'm sorry if I take long, but I get very passionate about it. I love to be with you. Thank you for everything. Oh my God, I have 43 messages. I appreciate it a lot. Have a nice evening. Take care and God bless.